Imagine a place so remote that it defies the very concept of human presence, a place shrouded in relentless darkness, isolated not only by distance, but by the sheer force of nature itself. The deep ocean is home to locations so profoundly separated from the touch of civilization that they remain, to this day, among the least understood realms on Earth. These are the most isolated ocean locations, the true edge of our planet, where the known world dissolves into mystery and the laws of life are rewritten with every new discovery. Begin with Point Nemo, the so-called oceanic pole of inaccessibility. Situated in the southern Pacific, Point Nemo is farther from land than any other spot on Earth, over 1,600 miles from the nearest islands. Even the closest humans are not on land, but on the International Space Station, orbiting above. Here, the water stretches unbroken in every direction, a vast expanse where ships are seldom seen and storms reign supreme. In this deep-water desert, what life endures? The answer remains elusive. Scientists suspect that the region's isolation and nutrient scarcity create a unique ecosystem where only the most resilient microbes and drifting plankton survive. Yet, even in this apparent emptiness, mysteries persist. Unexplained sounds, like the infamous bloop, have been detected here, hinting at phenomena or perhaps creatures that challenge every expectation. Venture farther south, below the icy surface of the Southern Ocean, and you encounter another realm of isolation, the waters surrounding Antarctica. Here, the cold is absolute, the winds unforgiving, and the distance from civilization nearly insurmountable. Beneath the shifting ice shelves lies a world almost entirely cut off from sunlight, oxygen, and warmth. In 2018, researchers drilled through kilometers of ice to reach the seafloor of the Filchner-Ronne ice shelf. What they found defied logic. Sponges and other filter feeders clinging to rocks, surviving where food and energy seemed impossible to obtain. How did these creatures arrive? How do they persist in such cold, dark isolation? Their very existence challenges the boundaries of marine biology, hinting at unknown pathways of life and adaptation. Travel to the Mariana Trench, plunging nearly 7 miles below the surface of the western Pacific. The Challenger Deep, its lowest point, is the most inaccessible location in the world's oceans. Only a handful of humans have ever visited, and even robotic explorers struggle against the crushing pressure and frigid temperatures. Here, isolation is absolute, not just from land, but from light, warmth, and time itself. Yet, life endures. Amphipods, strange worms, and ghostly fish, adapted to survive in chemical-laden water and perpetual blackness. Some are so alien in form that they defy the categories of known biology. When the first explorers descended, they found not silence, but a complex, thriving world, revealing that isolation can foster evolution, not extinction. Further east, the South Pacific Gyre stretches across millions of square kilometers, a rotating desert of water. This is the least productive region of the world's oceans, so isolated from nutrients and currents that it rivals the emptiness of outer space. The seafloor here is ancient and undisturbed, a time capsule from the dawn of Earth. Drilling into this abyss, scientists have found bacteria that survive at the very limits of metabolism, eking out existence over millennia, sustained by nothing more than the faintest traces of energy. The isolation of the South Pacific Gyre offers a glimpse into life at its most minimal, a world where survival means stretching the definition of existence. Shift to the Arctic, where the ice-bound waters north of Greenland and Siberia remain locked away for most of the year. These isolated pockets are inaccessible not just to humans, but to most forms of marine life. The water is supercooled, oxygen levels are low, and the sun vanishes for months at a time. Yet, beneath the ice, hidden communities thrive. Ice worms, psychrophilic bacteria, and gelatinous creatures that seem conjured from another world. Scientists have only begun to understand how these isolated life forms communicate, reproduce, and endure in the harshest conditions imaginable. Isolation in the ocean is not only a matter of geography, It is sculpted by currents, temperature, depth, and even chemistry. Hydrothermal vents, scattered across the mid-ocean ridges, are islands of life in the abyss, cut off from the surface by thousands of meters of water. Here, in places like the Lost City and the Galapagos Rift, entire ecosystems revolve around chemosynthesis, drawing energy from minerals rather than sunlight. The creatures that flourish, giant tube worms, blind shrimp, and extremophilic microbes, have evolved in isolation so complete that their ancestors may have diverged from the rest of life billions of years ago. Studying these remote communities, scientists glimpse not only the origins of life on Earth, but the possible forms life might take elsewhere in the universe. Some isolated locations are hidden within the folds of continental shelves, such as the Sigsbee Deep in the Gulf of Mexico. Here, brine pools, dense, toxic lakes within the ocean, are cut off from the surrounding water by chemistry alone. The isolation is so profound that only specialized bacteria and archaea can survive, feeding on methane and hydrogen sulfide. These pools are the closest analogs we have to alien oceans, and they force a rethinking of what habitable truly means. The isolation of the deep ocean is not static. It is a dynamic force shaped by tectonic movements, shifting currents, and the slow churn of ice and water. As climate change alters the patterns of ocean circulation, once remote regions may become more accessible, but new pockets of isolation will inevitably form. Each shift brings with it new mysteries, new questions, and the potential for extraordinary discoveries. What secrets do these isolated locations hold? Are there species yet undiscovered, lurking in darkness, surviving against every odd? Do unknown phenomena, strange sounds, unexplained lights, or unclassified chemical signatures hint at life or processes beyond our current understanding? The answers remain tantalizingly out of reach. For every expedition into these remote regions, the ocean offers a reminder. Isolation breeds diversity, resilience, and wonder. The most isolated ocean locations are not empty. They are crucibles of evolution, laboratories of adaptation, and repositories of Earth's deepest secrets. Each is a frontier, challenging our knowledge, stretching the boundaries of science, and inviting us to question what it truly means to be alone. In the end, the ocean's isolation is a paradox. It is both barrier and invitation, obstacle and opportunity. It demands humility, patience, and imagination from those who seek its truths. Our journey into the world's most isolated ocean locations is only beginning, and with each dive, each sample, each whispered anomaly, we edge closer to answers that will reshape our understanding of life on Earth, and perhaps beyond. This is Deep Sea Mysteries. The last true wilderness beckons, its isolated realms awaiting discovery. What will we find when the barriers fall and the unknown becomes known? The greatest secrets of our planet lie not in the lands we have charted, but in the oceans we have yet to understand. The adventure continues.